Hello, welcome to the March live chat. There's no one watching yet, so I'm just having tea on my own in a room. That's kind of sad, really, isn't it? I didn't publicise this one very well, so hopefully people will notice in a few minutes and remember that it's the last Friday of the month, which is when we always do the live chats. Now, I've made a little bit of a difference today. I've finally figured out how to do live streaming off the computer rather than off my iPad, so hopefully the sound will be improved. Hello, Jimmy. Hello, Paulie. Hope you're both well. Oh, we have people. Hello, people. Hello, Robert. I wasn't sure anyone was out there. Suddenly people are, which is nice. Good evening, everybody. Oh, John. Oh, well, I'll try and keep talking long enough for you to get your curry and come back. Cameron. Perfect. I was going to say I always try and put a theme of the month in the title, and tonight it's Mondeos and the death of Mondeos, and you come straight away with a Titanium X, which is great. John, you said you'll offer a curry then back again. I'm saying hopefully we'll keep this thing going long enough for you to get your curry and come back, and we're still going. Kettle is brewed, in fact. I'm all right, a bit tired this week. Lots of regular work on for a change. Now that the kind of lockdowny stuff's over, I'm sort of finding I'm actually quite busy again all of a sudden. So yeah, it's all good to be back. Oh, this is much better. I'm using a real computer for a change instead of the iPad, and I can actually see the writing on the side of the screen. It's amazing. I can even make it fill the screen. Fantastic. This is a real novelty. Robert, notified by YouTube. Yeah, I didn't remember to do any Facebook stuff. I didn't remember to do any Twitter stuff apart from like 10 minutes ago, and I suddenly thought I'd better go and do some information about that. Dear me, right. I always thought the Passat was nicer than the Mondeo. I don't know. I always thought the Mondeo was nicer than the Passat. I thought the Passat was a bit boring in comparison to the Mondeo. But yeah, I'm kind of sad that the Mondeo's going, because that was such a staple of our roads. But I know that sales figures have been down for years now, and but I blame the buying public for making the wrong choice and buying SUVs. Yeah, contentious issue. But no, I think any SUV that's based on a saloon is going to be worse than the saloon it was based on. And so it's rather sad that Mondeo was going. Matt with 2 T or tea with 2 sugars? Right, where are we at? Let's look at the comments. What's coming in? Hello, Isle of Man. Hello, Sean. How you doing? Paul, how are you? Grumpy Toffee? So I've just interrupted original Star Trek, apparently. Did I like the Alpha 166? Yes, I absolutely loved the 166. I think it would have been nicer with a manual 6-speed gearbox in it, but it was very, very smooth and nice and pleasant to be in nonetheless. The seats and those things are amazing. They're really, really good. Yeah, Mondeo was available as a 4-door and a 5-door and an estate. It was a great all-round solution. If you needed to move lots of stuff, you cannot beat a Mondeo in terms of size. What's Mondeo man driving now, Mark? Apparently Cougars, and they've made the wrong choice because the Cougar's much smaller on the inside and doesn't drive as nicely. So anyone bought a Cougar instead of Mondeo made the wrong choice, unfortunately. Hello, New Zealand. What time is it in New Zealand at the moment? This is very furious driving / hub nut motoring going on here from Auto Ethan. Just bought a 2008 Polo for £500 from his neighbours because it failed on some things, but MOT'd soon, hopefully, or as long as you get it all done in time. John, you're correct. SUV suppliers have a special place in hell reserved. Never owned Psycho. Never owned a Ford, but a Mondeo ST would tempt me. Yeah, when I had a Mark III Mondeo diesel, I really loved the look of the STs, and I was thinking of putting on the body kit and wheels and things on it, but that car just didn't work out very well, sadly. I might still get a Mondeo Mark III another time. They're quite cool. If I could choose any Alpha, which would I pick? That's a really good and difficult video because there are so many. My first choice would be a 156 with the 2.5 litre V6 because they are just such good looking cars. But I don't know. I like the 1960s one, that one that was on Top Gear last week, the GTAR. Just a regular GTO would be fantastic. That was too many to choose from. I could be all night just listing Alphas, really. Metarak, thank you very much indeed. That's very kind of you to say. Like the videos. tempted to get a 156, 166 as a first car. I would go with the 156 because the 166 is actually a very big car, and if you're still a first car new to that kind of thing, don't want to crash it and break it. That would be bad. Rory. Weather is nice next week, so please do some work on the W123. I know I was planning to do that, but all of a sudden I keep getting phone calls about work. And it's terrible. Now I'm free to work. I need to stop having a job and do all-time YouTubing, really, which I was trying to do, but people keep trying to hire me to do things, which is really annoying. Yeah, Paulie, I'm really sad about the Mondeo. It was so different. It was exciting in 1993. This is great, Andy. Crap interiors on the Cougar and valet them for a living. So yeah, you see them firsthand. Yeah, not as nice as the Mondeo at all. 9:04 on a Saturday morning in New Zealand. Wow. 10:04 a.m. in Greece. Oh, PM, sorry, yeah, you're an hour ahead, aren't you? Yeah. Ford Focus versus Ford Mondeo. Which depends on the generation. The really early Focuses are great, and that's in a car, and I've got lots of space to hide cars in. I'll definitely get an early Focus, and also get a Mark 1 Mondeo as well. Peter, yeah, I just saw I did reply about that. Yeah, it's actually off to go and see a Alpha specialist in a few days' time to go and get the cam belt fitted. So I'll have a word with them about that, because I did look at that, because he's commented that the one of the Alpha 145 hose isn't fitted properly, and I did comment on it as I was fitting it that there was a notch, or there should have been a notch in the hose, and there wasn't one. So it's not quite on straight, but yeah. Oh, Auto Ethan, yeah, car failed. Polo, this is failed, and garage for £100 to the neighbours. Oh man. Well, you should have great fun. A Polo shouldn't be too hard to work on, and you'll have a good car when you got it done. Oh, Integrale DMY. Oh, hello, excellent choice. Daily car is an Alpha 156 2.4 JTD 20 valve. I had one of those for a couple of years, about 5 years actually, as my daily car with a 2.4 20 valve. And that's the one to go for, because that's the more powerful one. I loved that car. That was so good. The seats are almost the same as in the 166. Jimmy, how's 145 doing? It's doing fine. It hasn't moved anywhere because I've not taxed it all this month. So what's it, 26 now? So in 4 or 5 days, I'll put some tax on that and then actually take it for a ride. It's on a trickle charge. You might have seen on Instagram. I've got a new big Draper maintenance charger thing, so that's had that attached to it. So it'll fire up first go, and I can start doing some servicing. In fact, I bought a genuine Alfa Romeo oil filter for it this morning. So I'll do a service on it next week before the cam belt. Oh, Grumpy Toffee. 3 Mondeos and still daily in ST220. That's a great looking car. Oh, Breras are looking good looking cars, but they are not. I don't know, they're the best driving cars of all the Alphas, to be honest. But they are beautiful cars, though. Mark Thewlis. If I remember correctly, the Mark 1 Mondeo Gear X Saloon had a rear wiper. I think you may be right. Maybe it had done. We need to get Hubnut involved in this conversation to confirm that. Did I see Big Car Channel today? There's an interview with Volvo 400 series designer Steve Hopper. No, I didn't actually. No, I've been out all day today, so I've not had a chance to look at anything really online. I'll go and look at that later on, because that does sound quite interesting, actually. Alpha 75 is what I should review next. Yeah, they're not that common, Alpha 75s, but I would love to find one and get out in that, because that's, yeah, especially, either 2 litre or the V6 would be great. We've got the transaxle on the back, so it should be a great handling thing. Am I reviewing a Volvo 240 Stone car? No, I'm not doing that one, because it's basically the same as the previous Volvo 240s I've reviewed, so I can only do so many Volvo 240s. Oh, is it Christian Smith? Is that you, Chris? Yeah, I believe it may well be your Skoda. It was last Friday's car. The little Fabia. That seemed to be the most comments in the thing, seemed to be whether I was saying Fabia or Fabia wrong. That was a nice little car, actually. They're nice, unassuming little vehicles. Would I be right in thinking you put that car for sale now, Chris? John, back in 20 minutes with the curry. Oh, I'll have a pop a Peshwari now, please. Max, yes, I know you have still got door pockets for my 740. I was thinking that just 2 or 3 days ago. I'm going to tax the Volvo next month as well, so maybe I'll come up and see you in the next few days if I'm going that way. I'll make sure I take the Volvo and we'll go and have a look at that. Where are we? Brera with the 1750 TBI, amazing, but I think what's it called? Not Pro Sport. The people who did the rally cars, they did the tuned version of it. That was probably the best one to go for. X-Type versus Mark III Mondeo. It depends what kind of material you like, because basically the same car. But if you go for the X-Type, you do get four-wheel drive if you go for big engines. So X-Type. What do I think of the 2012 Audi A6? It's probably fine. I don't know a lot about the 2012 A6. It's quite a smooth, unrestrained looking car. Nice interiors on them. I think they're pretty well built, actually. Oh, Giuseppe, come drive my Alpha 75 3-litre V6. Tell me you're in the UK. When I was a lad in the 70s, I used to buy vast amounts of Harry Moss accessories. Everything like Kit Off Knight Rider except the Austin 80, yeah. Oh, thank you. Jumping ahead of things. Mark Salisbury, thank you very much indeed. And hello, Elliot. Good evening. And it's probably your bedtime if it's you shouted out on here. So hello, Elliot. Mark did a super chat there. So if you want to help the channel out, buy some bits for cars, then that's very generous and very much, very gratefully received. Robert Brink, I have the Volvo C30, which is a Ford Focus underneath of the Mazda engine. It is a Ford Focus underneath. There were different engines or various engines. Does this mean S-Max is for the shop as well? That's a good question. To be honest, I thought the S-Max had already gone. Oh, so I was following up on the conversation about the Alfa Romeo heater hoses because this personally affects me. The notches on top of the original thermostats, new OEM ones, moved to the right-hand side. Okay, yeah. Finding a thermostat for the 145 was actually really, really hard. I finally found one, but it was the wrong one, then found one which was the right one, but it's got that weird notch. Might even be better to take the notch off with a file rather than cutting the hose pipe. Where are we? I drive them on Ford Cougar and an MX-5. I don't know which one of those two I prefer. Alpha 159 versus Audi S4. Alpha 159 all the way. Do you know what? I was actually seriously considering changing my C-Class for a 159 because I really miss my old 159. But I kind of can't bring myself to part with such a good car as my C-Class because nothing is wrong with it. Nothing ever goes wrong with it. Touching wood and all that. But yeah, they are brilliant cars. I love a 159. Have I test ride a Skoda Fabia/Fabia Mark II? Not yet. I'm planning on it though. Hello, Paul. Hope you're well. Can't top having a modified VW Caddy. Could do that as a mini camper. That's quite a good idea, actually. Any tips on how to keep neighbours happy when you have so many cars in the yard? Yeah, what I do is make sure I live next door to people who either fix cars themselves for fun or, in my case, is a builder. So he's always got skips and rubbish outside, so I look better compared to him, which works quite well. It keeps everyone happy. And also quite handy if I need to go and borrow building tools. I can go and knock on the door and say, hello, can I borrow some building tools? Right. I should visit Italia Autos. Yeah, that'd be quite cool, actually. John, you can hear on the move. Fantastic. You must have CarPlay going. Oh, man. Hey, Braid, used to have a Sierra TD. Bet there's not many of those left. No, do you know what? I reckon you're probably right. There are virtually none of those left. Oh, I've got 2 super chats here, so thank you, Psycho. Spot on with the 166. Oh, you've got 166, haven't you? And agree about Sportronic. Doesn't get the best out of the bus, so still sounds great. Yeah, it does sound amazing. And that car did have a different back box on it, which really helped. Yeah, they're lovely cars. Thank you, Psycho. That's super chat from Psycho, and also super chat from Andy. Thank you very much indeed. I really do appreciate that, Andy. That's all going towards the cars. The next big expenditure is going to be the 145 getting its cam belt. Well, whether that happens before Quentin comes back from the trimmers, one of those two is going to be a big expenditure. So thank you very much indeed. That's very much appreciated. Have I missed the Mondeo talk yet? No, we got sidetracked. I didn't really get into it. I'm just saying I was very sad about them going because I think the Mondeo is far better than any of the SUVs that is replacing it. I was going to say, if anyone's got any good Mondeo memories and come in with them on the chat. Oh, Phil Seeger finally got a new daily 1999 Rover 620 SI Auto, 19,000 miles on it. Wow, that'll be super wafty. I hope you got leather in the SI, haven't you? That'd be nice. Yeah, Ivan from Stoke-on-Trent. Yeah, can't believe we're losing all the great saloon cars, Mondeo included, for this seeming obsession with ugly SUV style rubbish. Yeah, all the crossovers that aren't actually four-wheel drive and have virtually no more ground clearance than a saloon car. And you look at them from the front, and because we've got the top of a saloon car on the bottom of a saloon car, then about that much in between. They just had to fill in with a bit more grille on the front and just a bit blank bit on the side. And to my eyes, it just looks wrong and out of proportion. It's a real shame. And the cars don't handle as well because the centre of gravity's moved up. When I can see it with EVs that maybe they're trying to do something to, I don't know, find some space for the batteries under the floor so you step over the batteries and have them underneath. But it's not an elegant solution. Oh, Giuseppe, oh, brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, drop me an email, bodyintheboot@gmail.com. It's in the description in the link below with your contact details, please. Giuseppe, I'd love to see that car and take it for a ride. That'd be brilliant. What does a Mazda 6 27 to 2012 have to do with a Ford Mondeo? Is it a Mondeo? Is that a question or a statement? I'm not sure. Is it a Mondeo underneath? Yes, it is. They're basically the same car. Built under license, so you can get a really good Mondeo with Mazda build quality, I think. So I'm losing places. Thank you for 2 people who just said they like the videos. Do appreciate people saying that. That's always really good to hear. That makes me kind of motivated to go and do some more. Which, in my opinion, is the best VHE brand in terms of reliability. For me, it's Seat and the best looking. Actually, do you know what? I was going to say that. I did hear, I can't remember where I heard it a couple of years ago, when Seat were building the Arossa small SUV and they were also building the Audi A1. The A1 was the best quality or lowest term faults of anything in the Volkswagen and Audi stable, and that was built in Barcelona. So I do think the Seats are built really well. Man fixes wiper, gets distracted. That's possibly the best video title of the year going to Hubnut just there. We were talking about Alpha 159s earlier. Funny you say 159. I just spotted a 2.2 JTS Ti today. Check the MOT history. Rusty front and rear subframes. Yeah, because that's what actually put me off, because I was looking at, I can't remember what sidetracked me onto it, how I found it, but apparently 159s have got like a foam baffle in the sills, and water gets caught behind that baffle, and so they're starting some of the earlier ones to rust out in the back of the sills, and it's quite a big job to repair it. They are repairable, but it is a big job. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame. That's kind of put me up a little bit from getting another one as a daily car, but I would love to have another 159 at some point, especially a V6 four-wheel drive. Gosport Jamie, well, I'm not about to reveal myself as a real Hubnut. I can reveal that both Mark 1 and 2 Mondeo gear saloons did have rear wipers, as his company car Mark 1 SI did. 4x4, oh, 4x4 saloon Mondeo. That's another car I need to be adding to my collection in the infinitely large barn one day. Although you have just outed yourself as Hubnut, though. Any more progress with the C5? Yeah, I meant to have a chat about that. 2 issues with the C5. Yes, I have started doing some stuff on it. A couple of people did offer to help me with some bits and pieces, which I haven't had time to go and reply to. I'm really, really sorry. I was trying to make up some brackets to work out exactly how to work the mounting of the motor in. That's taken a little while to do. And the battery hasn't turned up. I bought the battery before the last C5 video. It's still not here. So either it's stuck on a ship in the Panama Canal, or I've been scammed on the internet. I don't know which. So yeah, that's kind of holding up the C5, because I don't want to do a single C5 video which starts with me putting all the bits in and then 5 minutes later ends with nothing happening. So I need the battery to arrive before we see the C5 again. Oh, Robert Brigg, thank you very much indeed. Phone battery almost empty. Wishing you a good evening, and thanks for the chat. Well, thank you for the €5 there, Robert. Really do appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. And oh, Gospel Jamie, thank you. To the death of the Mondeo, we drink a cup of tea to you. Thank you, Jamie. That's brilliant. Gavin Davidson from New Zealand. For Rovers only, don't worry. Quentin or one of the others will absorb that in no time at all. Right, let's get back to the questions and things. Where are we? Phil Seeger, no leather, just glorious velour. Oh, my sound is a lot better. Yes, I'm on the iMac today, not on the iPad. Whereas, like, make sure on the timing belt, the 145, you replace all the belts and tensioners, including those in the balancer shaft. I'm actually taking it to a friend of mine who runs an Alpha specialist garage. He was trained as a main dealer Alpha technician, so he knows all the full ins and outs. Because really, I want him to check over everything in the engine bay while he's there. So if there's anything else that's shonky in any way, he can sort it out. Computers and stuff. Got a 2015 Mondeo 2-litre diesel, treat to drive, one of the best designs for the price. Yeah, absolutely. Also upgraded from 150 to 180 horsepower using free. Sorry, I thought it said free software. For 4-scan software, that's good. Yeah, they do are mappable. I mapped my Mark III. I've got a big boost in low-end performance on that thing. As Mrs. Furious demanded more room in her driveway. Well, she's got more room because Quentin's off at the trimmers at the moment. So, yeah, she's quite happy at the moment. Do I have any experience with the Type 916 Alpha GTVs? Only in so much as it's the same car as my 145 underneath, just in a sleeker body. They're very, very nice cars indeed, but they do rot in all the same places as the 145. So if you're looking at buying one, check the sills, then check the sills some more. Check the floor pan under where the pedals are on both left and right hand drive cars. Check the strut tops, and if it's still got the block of rubber foam stuff that sits by the hinges of the bonnet, pull that out and check under there, because water sits under there and rots out from underneath that. But otherwise, really good cars. They're lovely handling. They're very modifiable with suspension and things. Not that you need to do a lot to them, really. And absolutely beautiful. Yeah, so yeah, I'd say definitely go for one. Many decades ago, I knew someone who replaced the engine in his Beetle with a Porsche 356 engine. He took me for a drive once, just once, never again. Yeah, it was not an uncommon conversion back when 356s were worth next to nothing. Yeah, 3 different thermostats for the Alpha 145. This is an ongoing conversation about Alfa Romeo thermostats. 3 different kinds of 145 twin spark thermostat, depending on your engine size. There's an Alpha specialist shop I found online, and they were able to sort me out with a thermostat in the end. So it was the correct one for the engine in the end. Hi Kai, how you doing? Hope you're well. Might not be a popular opinion, but I love my 65 plate 206 Mondeo diesel. I think a lot of people do. That's the thing. It's a real shame Ford are knocking on the head, because it was such a good thing. Is a diesel Alpha a good way to get into Alphas? Petrol Alphas are rare where I live. Yeah, I think they are. Some people don't like the idea of an Alpha with a diesel because it's not got the sound and everything. But the 1.9 is a good engine. It's a nice, reliable engine because it's a GM engine. They have problems in Vauxhalls and Opals because they tend to be put into rather mundane cars, which don't get driven very hard, and then they clog up, and the DPFs and all the diesel emission stuff goes all cloggy. Alphas tend to get driven more enthusiastically, and they never have a problem. If you can find a 5-cylinder, then do, because the 5 cylinders, the 2.4, are fantastic, and they make a really good noise, and they're very, very tunable. On my 156, I think I had up to 200 horsepower, and the 159, I think, oh god, I can't remember what it was. It was pushing 300 horsepower. It was ridiculous. They had to tune it down because it was making too much black smoke. But just check the timing gear is good on it, because the timing gear on the 5 cylinders is now starting to age and go a bit. The timing chain stretch, I think, from memory. But yeah, they're definitely, I would say go for it. They're great. But yeah, if you're going for a 156 with a 2.4, you will need to be changing the front suspension bushes and arms quite frequently, because it's a bit heavy for them. Gospel Jamie denies being the real hub nut. Oh, sorry, there's no one. Too many comments. Mondeo diesel TD, loads of lag, then build up a power for 3 seconds and nothing. Sounds like it's not running properly. Sounds a bit like my old one, except mine didn't have the power for 3 seconds. Oh, sorry, I'm just going back through there. Have I tried AutoDock for my Alpha? Yeah, they do have a lot of Alpha stuff on AutoDock, actually. But at the time I bought it, it was a lot of import-export issues getting stuff into the country that particular week. Dom Cook, my dad had 3, uncle had 2, cousins on second. Sad to see it goes. Hate SUVs, yes. good. Full sense of security, yeah, because you're not stable and it's not really more accident survivability in them at all. And that new Peugeot saloon, the 508, that is beautiful. Ford should be emulating them and pushing that. Had a Mondeo ST220 bought from a colleague. One owner from new, Magnum Grey, red Recurrent. Oh, nice. Oh, good car, but lost interest. Oh, never mind then. I'm so tempted by a 159 sport wagon with a 2.4 JTT engine. Need someone to talk me out of it. Well, that's not going to be me. Just go and make sure the timing gear is all good on it and enjoy. Fixed drive ride fly was apparently buying a plane today. I've had 4 Mondeos over the years. They're really excellent drive. Yeah, they are. They really are great handling things. Ford do really nice handling cars. My Titanium X Mark IV definitely has to rank as one of my favourites. Yeah, it's just a shame you want me to get new ones anymore. Yeah, all the Travelli, Cortina, Sierra, Mondeo, rest in peace. All the good saloons gone. Hopefully, the fashion will come. It's cyclical, and maybe we'll get Mondeo, Mondeo-like saloons in the States or whatever. Hatches back again. Andy, my missus loves her 2011 Subaru 2.5 Legacy Sportsback Estate. Had it 2 years, bulletproof, 29,000 miles on the clock. Yeah, I do like those Legacies as well. I really enjoyed the one I test drove last year. That was a lovely car. The interiors, the dashboards aren't that special compared to some other brands, but they're never going to break, and the cars are never going to break either, unless it's one that breaks. If I could resto mod any car, what would I pick? It'd be obvious to say an Alfa, wouldn't it? Or a P6, because I'm resto modding. Well, I am resto modding a P6. I'm putting a massive V8 in one. That'd be quite fun. I don't know, something a bit less obvious. Maybe take a Manta. An Opel Manta would be quite cool, wouldn't it? Put a modern engine in one of those. So that'd be quite entertaining. Sorry, I'm not great at pronouncing everyone's names. I like my Mondeo 4.5 into second one. Oh, good man. Yeah, because people do love them and they stick with them. Sad news that Ford are killing off the segment. Sign of tons, everyone goes for a 3 Series and PCP. Yeah, that's a weird thing, actually. Because of the residual value in the way PCPs work, things like Mercedes, BMW, and Audi are actually cheaper on PCP than a Ford sometimes, which is crazy. Yeah, Skodas and Seats are so much more worth buying than VW. Yeah, completely agree. Much better equipment for the same car. Lloyd Vehicle Consulting. Good evening, Mr. Lloyd. How are you? I've just finished a live stream on your channel. I've advised everyone to come over. Oh, well, thank you very much indeed. Numbers have actually jumped, yes. Did I ever drive, this is JD in Rotterdam, a 1990 Ford Sierra 2-litre saloon? Not a 1990, I think a 1992 or 3, because my dad had one as a company car and I was on the insurance for that, so I drove that quite a lot and I really enjoyed it. Really nice car, white. It was an LX, I believe. Max, thank you very much indeed. That's a super chat from Max there, £5. Thank you. I do appreciate that. You should attend Volvo 600. Yeah, do you know what? I signed up for that last year when I bought the 740. And obviously it didn't happen because of the world. It's a world record attempt to get the most Volvos in the world. Why is there limited spaces left when they're trying to get the most Volvos in the world? Shouldn't it be an unlimited number of places? June the 12th. Yeah, I'm going to have to go and sign up for that one. That would be quite really cool to get to. Ever driven a Ford Cougar? No, I actually haven't driven a Ford Cougar. I remember it very well. But no, I've never driven one. Mondeo lasted 9 years longer than Cortina. Do you know, I didn't know that. I suppose it did when you think about it, because it's 20-something years, isn't it? Even more reason to bring back Rover, fill the Mondeo cap. Yeah, some stylish wooden dashboarded saloons would be great to have instead of, well, no Mondeo. Someone needs to fill that gap for people who don't want SUVs. Did I review late 80s, early 90s Korean cars? I haven't yet, but it doesn't mean I don't want to. I know a few people in various clubs on Facebook and things who've got those kind of things. I just haven't been able to because of COVID and stuff. It's been a real limiter on what we can do the last year or so. The death of Mondeo Man will be remembered, yes. A real shame. Yeah, Ian's right. The only reason that Mondeo had lackluster sales is because of German cars with cheap PCP deals. Yeah, it doesn't mean you can get a cheaper BMW than you can a Mondeo. Badge snobbery, unfortunately. When you certainly get a better loaded car with a Mondeo. Where are we? Multiple conversations going on, trying to skip through them all. I found my Capri doesn't do corners on icy road at 20 miles an hour. A Capri won't do corners on any damp conditions at any speed. Where are we? Furthest they go off the road is the driveway. I had my pleasure parking my Aventus next to a 4x4 some years ago. Losing the place in the thing. Alistair, the only experience I've had with Mondeos had blue flashing lights on them, and they pulled me over for heavy right foot in my Focus ST Mark II twice. Lesson learned, or not. The early Mondeos were rather underwheeled, although the later models looked much more attractive. But yeah, back in sort of 1993, cars didn't have bigger than like 15 or 16-inch wheels. And that was a 16-inch wheel was massive in 93. So yeah, that was kind of why it was. And the car grew from the previous sort of model of Sierra and things. So yeah, they do look good looking cars. I think the latest one looks more underwheeled to me than the earliest ones, because the new Mondeo was huge. But yeah, the wheels on it look really small, even though they're actually pretty big. What do I think about the Gen 2 and 3 Camaros? I think they're good fun. They're basic. They're a little bit redneck and mullet kind of image, but they're good fun basic cars. A nice big V8, and if you want to go sideways and spin the wheels, you can't go wrong. Basic but fun. It's like the killing of the I'm assuming it means the Escalade rather than the escape key. Russell. The Mondeo was the only car that Mondeo, Clarkson, Hammond and Mate all like. Yeah, because there's a review on, I forget which channel it is, they're actually restoring a Mondeo to perfection. Looks really good. Oh, that's a good idea, Andy. Opel Manta 400 with a 5-pot Volvo motor in it. That would be very good. You need a big turbo on that as well, obviously. Scottish car enthusiast TV. Hello, Davey. Went to the first Volvo 600 with my mate. It was a fantastic day. They were surprised with the numbers, hoping to be there with my mate's V40. Oh, okay, that's cool. Maybe I'll see you there then. Any news about the Mind Capri? Yeah, they are virtually done with it. Obviously, no point going back until they are done, but hopefully we'll see it again very soon. Yeah, once they've actually got everything sorted out. Would I fancy drive in a 2011 Fiesta? Yes, I would actually quite like to do all the generations of Fiesta. I've got a Mark 1 lined up, which is being restored at the moment. It's going to be really nice. But yeah, I want to sort of go through every generation of them all. I would have a Mondeo just for the Ford Legacy. Yeah, it'd be quite nice to have one, especially Mark 1 would be cool to have tucked away. What do I remember or know about the 1983 Mitsubishi Galant Sigma, or in your country, the Mitsubishi Lonsdale? Gosh, very little indeed about that generation of it. I thought it was called the Galant in this country. No, that was the Sigma in this country, wasn't it, in the UK? Not a lot, to be honest. I know the late sort of turn of the century Galants were pretty striking looking cars. I'm sure it didn't break down, but it would have rusted, going by a reputation of cars of that manufacturer at the time. If there's one feature of the interior of the BMW 750i, what would it be that I would keep, I guess? I love a car phone on a cable, or the fax machine. It's totally useless, but I love the idea of having a fax machine in a car, which those things did have. Oh, Mark got a Mark 4 Mondeo ex-police car. Yeah, I guess I would have chipped that one for the police. Mondeo's biggest issue is they didn't make one that said RS Cosworth on the back. Yeah, that's a pretty good point, actually. If they'd done a Cosworth Mondeo, that would have made a big difference to the image of the whole the Mondeo brand, wouldn't it? Mondeo, nice taxi. Yeah, lots of room in the back of those things. Comfortable car. Oh, Dominic, okay. I think I'm for the Octavia than the Mondeo, to be honest. But that's not to say I don't like the Mondeo. Yeah, join the Proton in car heaven. Golden Croc. As a foreigner, it seems to me that badge snobbery in Britain is among the general public is some of the worst in the Western world. Yeah, probably not wrong, because the number of people who buy Audis and BMWs on PCP, but I don't know if it's the worst in the Western world or not. I know France is particularly good at not being badge snobbery, and they'll keep a 30-year-old car plodding on forever. Until obviously, although now all the European countries have got these kind of diesel emission laws coming in, so you can't keep the old cars going because they're not allowed in the towns and the cities. So are people going to be forced to go and buy something new and then get a bit badge snobbery in places like France where they've never cared before? It'd be interesting to find out in the future. Drive Tribe, yeah. That's where they're restoring the Mondeo. Thanks, Shay. I think they'll bring back the Mondeo name like the Vauxhall did with the Viva, yeah, but we'll be a terrible SUV like they've done with the Mustang. And what's going on? Who knows? 2 large Land Rover spares companies are closing down this year. Oh, really? Which ones? I don't know. Is that because people are retiring or something? Because a lot of those companies are kind of one-man bands who just do it for the love as much as the money. What do I think about the Vauxhall Cavalier? If I was feeling particularly harsh, I'd say it's the last great Vauxhall that was built, especially the last of them. They were really nice cars, good-looking cars, reliable. What's not to like about them? Every Vauxhall since has not had comfortable seats. They had nice, squishy, comfy seats in the Cavaliers. Vectra was, in my opinion, horrible. Insignia is okay, but the seats are too hard. PCP has destroyed the luxury image of Mercedes-Benz and BMW. You might be right, actually. Yeah, the number of A-Class is bombing around. Wow. Bad Books had 8 company car Mondeo estates in a row. Mark 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they were excellent Retmobiles. That's the market they were built for. I'm not sure that market really exists so much anymore, which is a shame. Sean Cook. Love the Scorpio, especially the interior of the Ultimate. Yeah, that is nice. Heated everything. Reclining electric rear seats. That's proper luxury. Dominic Zuck. Oh dear, I've just remembered they still have the EcoSport in production. Yeah, it's never something good to remember. That's something to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning after nightmares. Have I driven a Triumph GT6? I can't remember. I've a long drive in a Triumph Spitfire 6 with a Spitfire with a GT6 engine in it. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what Vauxhall will do with the Insignia. I believe that has been a poor seller as well. Yeah, I'm not sure it's been a great seller as I'd hoped. I think that is now only available as a hatch. Really? No more estate Insignia? That's a shame. Sorry. Right. Yes, I have done. Yeah, video on Mark III Cavaliers. One was a reproduction of a SRI or something. I think I did say that in the description, but people still comment on it not being correct. Mr. Lloyd, he drove a Granada Scorpio that was broken the day after he drove it. I'm not saying it's entirely his fault. I think it was rusty already. It wasn't Mr. Lloyd's fault. It was broken the next day. Is buying first generation Octavia a good idea in 2021, or pass it up and go for the second gen? I would base that on the condition of the actual car you're looking at, because the one Mark 1 is still a good car. Nothing wrong with it at all. If you've got a good one, low miles or even high miles, but a solid chassis and good history on it, then go for it if it's the right price. And I'd rather go for a Mark 1 with good history and no rust than a heavily abused Mark 2 with no service history. If I could go for a Ford, it'd be a Capri 280 Brooklands or another Ford Sierra Cosworth. I think I'd go for the Sierra over the Capri, actually. Suzuki have just brought out the Swace. What a horrible name. Well, it's an interesting name. I'll give it. It's one that makes you look into how do I say that? Mondeo was awesome. How dare they turn it into a crossover? Exactly. Yeah, so I said already, if I do bring a Mondeo name, I hope it's not on a crossover. Davey, Scottish Car Enthusiast, did one of the tuning companies not do a Cosworth Mondeo? I don't know. I'm sure someone will have done a reproduction. Whether it was authorised or not, I don't know. I can't understand why there are so many MPV and 4x4 being made. No, neither can I. Henry, my favourite car interior is Volvo. Yeah, some of the Volvo interiors are really nice. That kind of Scandi simplicity and some nice materials. They are nice. Dunsfold and PA Blanchard's are retiring. Oh yeah, retirement. Yeah. Land Rover specialist parts suppliers. Hopefully people or someone will be stepping in to take over. Yeah, sure, Jackie Stewart was involved in the Mondeo. Yeah, there is a video of him when they were launched. UK is not just badge snobbery. People see cars as appliances and upgrade them like iPhones. Some people do, yeah. And the ease of getting finance means people are more willing to do that. What would I choose? A 98 Mazda 626 or a 98 Vectra? Mazda all the way. The Vectra drove horribly. I've drove a couple at the time and did not enjoy them at all. Andy, yeah, we got the Mitsubishi Starion. I'm trying to miss where this came from. I've not been following the comments too closely. I've been trying to answer them and lose what's going on. We got the Mitsubishi Starion in the UK in limited numbers. It was driven by Per Eklund in the British Rally Championship. I'd forgotten it was in the Rally Championship, but I have been in one around a closed airfield, and they are huge fun. This is a statement which sounds like it needs more context. I went to a car breakers and a passenger side door handle fell off, and I nearly fell in a big puddle. I feel like I need to know more about that. What's going on with the world? I think what is wrong with the world here? Wrong with the world. Everything's turning into a small SUV. You don't need small SUVs. They're pointless because they're bigger on the outside, they're smaller on the inside. The boot space is worse. They don't handle as well. They're no safer. They're less fuel efficient. Stop buying small SUVs. GM ran Opel, Vauxhall, and Saab to death. Yeah, the GM never understand how to deal with niche market cars or other brand cars. They've destroyed so many. Saab died. Fortunately, Vauxhall, Opel, well, Vauxhall certainly has got away. People were saying, "Oh God, it's terrible. The Vauxhall have been bought by Peugeot. They'd just be knocking out 206s with a Griffin on the front." But in fact, Vauxhall hadn't turned a profit in a long time. Not really under GM ownership. So they've now got a chance to be free and do their own thing a bit, maybe more. How's Sinclair going? I've been doing some bracketry to try and mount the motor. Someone's offered to make a bracket for me, but I need to work out what that bracket needs to look like. But still waiting for the battery. Battery isn't here yet, so still can't run it. I don't know why the battery's gone. It's stuck in the Panama Canal. Don't mention the V word, Vectra. Where am I? Oh, found a car. No, I haven't found a car breaker from Mercedes. I've not been looking, to be honest. I believe you can get a state insignia in Europe, but not in Britain anymore. That's a shame. Yeah, a lot of reps have gone to BMW and Audi and most industries. Oh, what's PCP for non-British people? Fair point. Personal contract plan. It's where you put down a deposit of a few £1,000s, and you pay a ridiculously small amount of money per month. So if you're buying a car on a loan, you'd be paying maybe £500 or £600 a month. But on a PCP, you put down £5,000 and you pay £150 a month, £200 a month, really small amount. Then after 3 years or 4 years, you have the choice of either paying the balance, which will be about £15,000-20,000, it could be a huge amount, or hand the car back and walk away with nothing, or just trade into another car and keep on paying the same amount of money. And so people do that, so they have a new car every 3 years, but keep on essentially hiring the car from the manufacturer forever. It means you never have to own a car, and you never have responsibility for more than the first service, which is often included. So it's like a real hassle-free way of owning a car, but it's slightly soulless, and you are constantly at the mercy of the finance company. And a lot of people during lockdown, when they weren't working, suddenly found they got bills they weren't able to pay, and a car that was effectively on loan they couldn't stop paying. So personally, I prefer to own a car rather than rent it. Love the Alpha video. Have I ever driven an Alpha GT? Thank you very much, Steve, for liking the video. I've not driven a GT, but at the time I had a 156. I had a friend who had a GT, and so I did go in that car, and it was very nice, a beautiful interior, and it was amazing how different the interior of the GT was to the 156, especially in the seats and the door cards and things like that. I had a Mark III Vauxhall Cavalier 2-litre SRO with nitrous fitted and Port 75 jet in it. That 10 minutes in the 30-pound tank of nitrous. Wow, that must have been mental. Where are we? Oh, Suez Canal, not Panama. Okay. Sorry, Frank, you're quite right. It's Suez Canal. That's where my battery is. SUVs are stupid. Yes, I totally agree with that statement. I can see PSA killing off Vauxhall and merging Opel. I don't know. I think the Vauxhall brand is too valuable. That's interesting. I drove a Mondeo and a Vectra as hire cars back in the late 90s and found the Vectra better. Better to drive and more useful. I don't know. I'd argue that point. I'd like to drive one again to put them side by side, but I remember how wooden the Vectra was and how badly it took corners compared to Mondeos and everything else I'd driven at that time. Strange, you still see a lot of late 90s Vectras. That's true, you do actually. Almost never see a Mazda 1990s Mazda 626. Well, I didn't really see many Mazda 626s at the time, to be honest. Hello, Mirage. Will we see the Volvo 740 soon? Yes, most of my cars have been on Sawn this month, which means not much has happened to them. When did Vauxhall lose mojo? When they stopped making the Mark III Cavalier. How am I coping with lockdown? To be honest, I've been working quite a lot, so it's not really been too bad. Where am I? Lost. What was it Clarkson said about Vauxhall under GM ownership? Pensions and healthcare company which sees the car-making side of the business as an expensive, loss-making nuisance. Yeah, under GM, that's probably true. I'm wrong. Vectra used to own a V6 Super Tourer Vectra, and it was 356 or 500. You handle very well apart from the limiter of 150. Yeah, but most people didn't have a V6 Super Tourer. Most people had a 1.8, which was dog slow and had suspension made out of bits of 2x4. Sad that people would rather buy a Nissan Puke than a bigger, better estate. Yeah, Nissan Juke is ridiculously small inside. Hello, Rob, Ian. They're not PSA anymore. FCA and PSA merged. Yeah, it was Stellantis, isn't it now? And they built their something millionth Fiat 500 in one of their particular factories this week. Will I ever get the Mercedes done? Yeah, when I start again during the summertime. What do I think of the Kia Stinger? They're really good. Current generation Kias are really, really good. I did read somewhere that they quietly had a Lotus engineer come and help them work on their chassis engineering when they were sort of working out the current range of things. And so all the Kias drive really, really well, even like the SUVs and things. But the Kia Stinger is a brilliant car. Alpha GT was effectively a 147 in a coupe body. No, it was a 156 in a coupe body, although the 156 and the 147 were much the same floor plan, just 147 was shorter, but the GT was the same length as 156. So we had a 156 and a 147 at the same time, and when we bought the 147, we actually looked at the GT. So we know those cars quite well. Do I like the Vectra? I think we just covered that one. It's a no. What do I think about the Toyota Corolla GTI from 1989? They were great. I love all the Corollas are nice. I've gone straight from hating the Vectra to uniformly liking the Corollas. GT had the same interior as the 147 facelift, except for the gear stick on the petrol versions. It was also very similar to the 156 as well. When we had R2, I would jump into the 147 after driving the 156, and the 156 had a 6-speed gearbox, and the 147 had a 5-speed, and I would quite often just get up to motorway speed and try and put it in reverse, because that's where 6th gear would have been. They were very similar. What's happening with classic cars when we go electric? Will there be conversion centres paid by government? Well, that's a bit of a misnomer. We're going electric. It's sorry, I've lost my place on the page. Yeah, 2030, as it currently stands, stop selling new petrol cars, but nothing's going to stop existing petrol and diesel internal combustion cars being driven anytime soon. So no, I wouldn't worry about it just yet. The investment value of classic cars means, and the sheer volume of petrol cars means they're not going to go anywhere for at least 20 or 30 years, so I wouldn't panic just yet. And also, BMW and Porsche are still developing petrol engines, and they've both said they're going to continue to develop petrol engines because they're pushing back against the 2030 bans. What's my favourite non-Italian supercar? I really like the original GT40. In fact, the later Ford GT, I do like that a lot. Batch, hello, how you doing? I was going to give you a call actually next week, so I want to have a go in your car. Stellantis seem to have some good plans for Alfa and Lancia, so hopefully they can revive those brands. Yeah, I really hope they can actually. It looks like they've put some development money into there. Hopefully not just in SUVs. Finally, a manual gearbox estate. Julia is on the way, but I'm not holding my breath. Davey, my current PCP deal is nearly at an end. Dealer wants me to sell my £20,000 Fabia Monte Carlo, but will cost me. I'll sell you A3, but will cost you more a month. Think it would be handing back or trading for something cheaper? Yeah, that's always the problem. When you come to the end, you're kind of stuck. Well, what they need to do is go in at the end of the month, or if you can, at the end of the year, and then they need to make up their average numbers, and then you can get a better deal because you can negotiate harder. I know my wife's had 3 Minis on the bounce now because she had a PCP because she didn't want an old car. Yeah, it's her choice. But the last one we changed, we were over the mileage. It got a mark on it with something and nudged it. And we managed to change it 6 months early and get the same price for the new model with more extras because it was the week between Christmas and New Year and they needed to sell cars. They managed to do us a really good deal. But having said that, she's now decided at the end of this particular PCP, she's just going to take a loan out and pay the car off and keep it until it dies in however many years that takes because she's fed up with PCP after 3 cars. I have a 75 Veloce 3-litre and a 164 24-valve cloverleaf, a GT JTS, an E30 M325i Motorsport convertible, and E38 Schnitzer and F355 F1. Oh, thank you very much indeed. Rezak, if you haven't dropped me an email already, then please do drop me an email, body in the boot at the description below, because that's an amazing collection. Lee Venus, hello, good evening, how are you? What time is it now? We're going nearly an hour. Do I like the 323F? Yes, I do like 323. That was a really kind of wedgy, curvy one from the early 90s. That was a good-looking car. I had a 2000 Accord liftback, and it was better to drive than a Vectra, even with a ridiculously large steering wheel. Yeah, the Accords were good driving cars, actually. Clarkson would go to the edge of the universe to avoid a Vectra. Yeah, he, if I remember rightly, managed to get blacklisted by Vauxhall, didn't he, for just slating it. Mondeo is dead, yes, Steward. That's a real shame, yeah. Have I ever been to a car museum in Bewley? Yes, Bewley's really, really good. Been there quite a few times, actually. Do I like the Skoda Fabia Mark 1? Yes, check the review from last Friday. My full opinion on the car. Even further to avoid the Beetle. The Beetle's not bad, actually. Kai, you're welcome. You've got them over there as well. Yeah, I'm sure they have them everywhere now. Yeah, the Clarkson Vectra review was famously harsh, but in my opinion, deserved. I've not tested any 1990s Mazdas yet. Okay, SUVs do make sense to those with bad backs and those who have to transport older relatives. Yes, but then there are saloons and hatches that have got higher seating entry points as well. So automatics, people, whenever I criticize automatic gearboxes, people say, yeah, what about people who can't drive manual for whatever reason? Yeah, fair enough, that's fair enough. But given the choice, how reliable were the diesel engine in the Mondeo? That's a good question. The engine itself was quite good, just the stuff around it fell apart. Injectors were a problem, fuel filters, fuel pumps. There were various issues with them. Crikey, I'm way behind on the comments. I'm looking. By the time we got that couple built, do you know what? There's a local builders merchants, and I've spoken to them a couple of times, but apparently they are really understaffed at the moment, and they haven't come back to me with about delivering the timber. Mr. Lloyd, yeah, the current Kia range are some of the best. They are absolutely loaded and great handling. Greg Connor, do I like SUVs? I'm not sure I've covered that on already, but no, I don't. What do I think of the current Fiat Tipo? I think it's a great looking car. Same car as the Alfa Giulietta. I haven't driven one yet. I do think they're good looking cars, but I've not been in one to have an opinion yet. I need to get hold of one and take it for a drive, then I can have a proper opinion about the thing. What other car am I going to get rid of? Nothing planned at the moment. Kai used to have a red Alpha GT JTD once. That sounds identical to my friend's. It had tan leather interior inside it. It was beautiful. How many diesel engines were there for the Mondeo? Hopefully someone else who's a Ford expert can chime in with an answer to that one. 1.8 and a 2 litre that I remember. Yeah, Mark IV Supra, if we can find one. Tannoy Volvo, good evening. The millionth Fiat 500. Yeah, they did a green, white, and a blue one, I think. Stuck them in photo opportunity. Did I see the 166 import on eBay? No, I didn't actually. No, I've not seen it yet. Buy on condition on a 166. Forget everything else, mileage, where it came from, that kind of stuff. Just buy on condition. Can make sure it's not rusty. Make sure everything works. Traveled to work in a 2000 Mondeo Edge in 2010, 2011. -15 to -20. Never faltered. Wow, that's hard going on it. Yeah, John Edwards is probably making a good point here, which I thought as well. Doubt Stellantis will split Vauxhall Opel, as the only difference is a different badge on the same car. Yeah, so you got same car in different markets under a different name, and with import-export issues with Brexit, it's a good idea to have different manufacturing bases either side of the channel. Yeah, don't like electric cars. And the next comment, biggest issue is charging them. Yeah, because if you don't live on a street where you can park off-road, what do you do? They're talking about all kinds of ideas, like putting charging off lampposts and curbstones and all things. But yeah, Batch, I will give you a shout early next week. Be nice to see you again. It's been a long time. When will we get to see the Mondeo Capri finished? Very soon, but yeah, it's up to the restoration company to finish it. So if I can go back and do it, because as soon as it's finished, it's going to go back to its owner. So I have to dive in the moment they've got the last lick of paint and everything else sorted out. Do I think a petrol car will be priced off the roads eventually? I think by the time that happens, petrol will become a niche, classic hobbyist thing. So petrol will still be around, but it'll be expensive, but for cars that are only driven for recreation, so it won't be such of an issue. Shane, this is something I've actually said in the past as well. Apparently, if electric cars are being built in mass, we'll run out of lithium by 2025. Yeah, I don't know how true that is either, but I have heard that statistic as well. So the current kind of battery we have to build with, yeah, if everyone suddenly converted, which they're being forced to, into lithium-based electric battery cars, there's not enough to go around. We'll run out of that before we run out of oil. So yeah, that is an interesting thing. But there are different kind of batteries coming on stream very soon. There are new battery technologies happening which may bypass that. So it's one of the things you don't want to get too involved in without doing a bit of pre-reading on first. I still think hydrogen's the future, though. I still think if we're going to go to an EV-based future, it should be in hydrogen cars. Have I ever heard of a car called a Link & Co., a badge-engineered Volvo? Do you know, I haven't actually, no. So there's something new out there. Yeah. John replying to Richard, I can see a future where every car parking space has a charger or underfloor wireless charging. I think there's a country, was it one of the Scandinavian countries, had got a wireless charging road somewhere. So you drive down the road, and it's an experimental thing. As you drive down the road, you literally get inductive charging off the surface. Oh, Lee, I don't have Mini anymore. And come to test a Mark 1 Yaris. Yeah, that would be really cool. Drop me an email again because I'm forgetful. So a couple of live chatters. I'm just going to dive down and say thank you to you guys. Davey, thank you very much indeed for the V8 fund. Yeah, it might even start this weekend if I get out in the rain. Mr. Matthew Smith, thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Bendy buses handle better than Vauxhalls. We had a mocker for 2 weeks in Spain. It was like driving on a trifle whilst heavily under the influence. Yes, sadly so. So yeah, thank you very much indeed, guys. Back to where we are in the comments. God, so many comments today. How's the P6 going? It's going all right, actually. I've been doing a bit of work on it behind the scenes this week, and hopefully might be able to get a video out on it this weekend with a bit of progress. So fingers crossed I can do some work in the garage this weekend, and you never know. Ian's a Scottish car enthusiast. I remember the review that, well, funniest ever. Yeah, Scottish Car Enthusiast TV. It's quite a fun channel if you get a chance to give them a little watch. How will the power grid cope with electric cars? Well, apparently the people from the grid reckon it will cope. There was an interview Johnny Smith did with someone from the electricity grid people, and he was saying it would be okay. It's just physically getting the power from the grid to all the cars is a big issue. But yeah. Looking for cheap cars for a project, can't find anything as cheap as I did with the Volvo. Yeah, I got lucky with that. I was very lucky indeed. Have I ever seen a Honda Accord Type R? Yes, they're quite cool looking things. Unusual choice for a Type R, but yeah, they did it. When you read motoring column in newspapers, need all electric cars now. Gosh, there are still newspapers. I would not be surprised if most new cars will be mild hybrid after 2030. I think hybrids are only going to be around until 2035, aren't they? They're going to ban hybrids after the full petrol ban, if I remember rightly.
Dad, Jeremy's in his ball, he's rolling about.
Okay.
So cute.
Shut the door.
You might say that bye.
Bye. That's Furious Jr. talking about the hamster. Vectra was popular on fleet vehicles. Yeah, they were. Yeah, good deals on them. At least 500 cars at a time and send them out to the hire car companies and company car drivers. Oh, it was Chris Harrison interviewing the National Grid guy, not Johnny Smith. This is a brochure I'd like to find. I remember looking at some old Toyota brochure and it stated something along the lines of, yes, we know Jeremy Clarkson hates it, but it's a great car, we promise. I've never seen that brochure. I need to go and find a copy of whatever that car is in. In fact, speaking of brochures, people have sent me some really cool brochures on the junk in the trunk posting stuff in feature. And I'm going to start, I have no time this week at all. Next week, maybe I'll start doing little photo posts on Twitter and Facebook of the brochures and things. That'd be quite entertaining. John, no need to kill off the Vauxhall brand. Badges aren't that expensive. Yeah, quite right. Yeah, it's all badge engineered the same stuff as Opel. I want to see a review of a Carina E. Haven't I done one already? Yeah, I think I've done a Carina E already. Do a search in my previous videos. I'm pretty sure I've done a Toyota saloon of that era. I'm sure it was a Carina E. Car I regret selling most of Mazda RX-8. Loved it to bits, but yeah, they did rust. Yeah. Yep. R.I.P. Mondeo. You hate Stellantis just because it's a ridiculous name, or some other reason? Oh yeah, Davies pointed out. Yes, I've done a Carina E. Yeah, big issues with Mondeo's diesel filters and block. Yeah. Favorite car event to attend? Oh, I don't know actually. There's a good one down in Kent, which I've forgotten the name of. Retro something or other. It's in September. It's really good. I'll come to me in a second. It's all the last movie. Awesome. Oh, thank you. I wasn't sure it was how it was going, to be honest. If someone was to comment the name of the massive Margate car show in September that I've forgotten the name of, that Lee organises. Scottish car enthusiast TV, seen that as well. Much preferred the Mondeo ST220, even though it's less powerful than the back. I've missed a bit of conversation going on there. Stellantis being the death of Italian ways of construction. Fair enough. Psycho, I don't do social media, but it'd be great to see Furious hit 50,000 subs for Easter. Those of you who can help, go for it. Yeah, thank you, Psycho. Yeah, I think we're like 2 or 3 subs away from 44,000. So that's not many to do in the next couple of weeks. So if anyone wants to subscribe, do please subscribe. It makes a massive difference to the channel. Oh, Dad's cousin, a white Mercedes 190E Cosworth. They're cool cars. That wasn't what Hoovy bought, was it? He bought a different 190. I'm sure I ask every chap, am I close to finding a barn for all my cars? I don't want to say too much and jinx it, but maybe. But it might be a little way away before the current tenants leave, but possibly yes. Might have a solution looming. Fingers crossed, touching wood, whatever else. There's a cat to walk past on the desk or something. I don't know. But yeah, maybe. But yeah, not for a month or 2, probably at the very least. Do I ever watch Kev T salvage hunting? No, I haven't seen him doing a scrap Ford Fiesta ST150. I don't know that channel. Hello, Conrad. Good evening. Not a fan of the Mondeo. The Mark IV is quite a thing. Heated and cooled seats in the Z-Tech. Yeah, I bought my Mark III Mondeo basically because it had cooled seats. Not sure that actually worked. But current Kia Hyundai offerings seem great. Is there anything to be said for the older Optima and Magentis? They're well equipped. They don't drive anywhere near as nicely as the current crop. I mean, Kia Hyundai have their kind of development curve is nowhere up a mountain. They've come from nowhere in terms of going from terrible to not terrible, basic, but to amazing. So I'll buy the newest I could really with any of those because they are just so much better the later they get. Hello, Ireland. How you doing?
We put the hamster back in his cage now.
Okay, bye-bye. Hamster is away, which is good to know. Our lost hamster escaped. We never saw it again. Do I like the Vectra wing mirrors? Actually, yes, I do. That's probably the highlight of the car is those wing mirrors, that lovely kind of curve off the bonnet. There's a lovely bit of styling in there. I actually also quite like the styling of the Insignia as well. Good-looking car. Apart from the back end, the bumper on the Insignia is too high off the ground. It's unresolved bit of design apart from the rest of the car looking quite good. I drove an Audi I-Pace and an Audi e-tron today. Which one did you prefer? I believe the DW10 115, I think it's the Mondeo, the most commonly one sold across Europe. We had a Mondeo pool car at a company I freelanced for going back about 10 or more years ago. And they had a good one, which the boss sold and then bought unseen one of the lower powered ones, one of the 115 powered ones, and it was so underpowered. It was terrible. In the Autobahn in Germany, and we could barely sort of break it into double speed figures. It was like struggling to hit 70. In Holland, they want everyone out of their gasoline cars and step over to EV, but they forgot almost nobody can charge at home in Western Holland, and public charging is not cheap. Yeah, that's kind of the same problem everywhere. That lots of places just don't have, or houses don't have access to a charger. I walked past a place in London last summer, and the guy got a Tesla outside a converted warehouse loft thing, and he got like 3 extension leads out of the 3rd floor, trailing across the pavement. It was really dangerous. I have a 1994 Rover 414 SI. What does SI stand for? Super injection. No, not really. That's just the letters that Rover chose. It probably is injection, maybe sports injection. But yeah, SI was just a name badge that Rover used for a long time. Hydrogen, yes. Thank you, Andy. Yes, it's definitely the future. It's jumping. The text is jumping. Lee, send me an email. Good, thank you. So text is all over the place. I'm losing comments. Sorry if I'm missing you. I do apologise. Out of all the cars I've reviewed driven, what's been my favourite? That's a really good question because there have been some really good ones. Oh, so retro. Sorry, thank you, Guy. Yes, of course, it's oh so retro. I knew it was retro something. That's the Margate show. It's my favourite show because it's just enormous. It's in a field and there's ice cream. There's lots of everything as well. Everything from hot rods and Americans to classic British and sort of mad Japanese. It's a great show. Great show. I think the Alpha 90 was one of my favourites because it was just silly. But yeah, been a lot of other fun ones. Is the Festival of the Unacceptable going ahead? Yes, it was confirmed yesterday. It's going to be in Lincolnshire, which might be a bit hard for a lot of people to get to because it's kind of Lincolnshire, Norfolk border by looking at the map of it. And it's in July, I think. Could I EV or could someone EV an Amphicar? Technically, yes, but as they leak and they do have bilge pumps, which are essential, you wouldn't want to run out of battery power halfway across a river or a lake. Which charge point do I plug into with my EV with a caravan coupled to it? I don't know, get an extension lead. One of those little double square splitter things. Hello, Neil. Kind of the hammer is the best. Which one's the hammer? Insignia is bulletproof and a favourite amongst police and taxi drivers. I didn't know that. Oh, so Retro Margate cancelled this year? I don't know. It's so far ahead. I know a lot of big shows, certainly big indoor shows are cancelling that far ahead, but outdoor shows might still be going ahead. What's my favourite Rover model? I'm going to have to go P6 really, aren't I? Bolad, don't ask my question, you get a thumbs down. I didn't see your question. Sorry, there are a lot of them. So please don't give a thumbs down. It's a bit unfair. If you repeat your question, I'll answer it for you. Oh, what is sports injection? Oh, sorry, that was you. What is sports injection? It's injection that's very sporty. Yeah, there you go. Oh, question answered. Can I do another breakers video? Well, there aren't that many breakers like that. I'd like to go around some other breakers yards. I mean, now that lockdown is lifting, then potentially we can do. Electric windows or no electric windows? I do like electric windows. So I was kind of thinking of putting electric windows into the V8 Rover when it was done. But you are on camera. Reed, you're on camera. Jason, good evening. How are you? Jag Mark II Coombs Special in silver, not the Moros version. Moros, what's your first name? Jason will answer that in a second. Mark 1 Mondeo is and will always be a legend. Yeah, it was a car that broke the mold. Oh, awesome place again. What's happened to Mondeo, Louis? It's been cancelled. Ford have killed the Mondeo. It's been gone in a year apparently. That'll be that for Ford saloons, and then just a Focus and the Fiesta that is not an SUV or a crossover. I drive a Toyota for a long time now, but next likely to be Kia Hyundai. Yeah, they're stealing a lot of customers in the Kia Hyundai brand. They're doing well. Fixed drive ride fly. There's a 190 sat in a garden. Oh yeah, you should be tempted. They are brilliant. I always liked the 190 when they were new. Yeah, you should definitely take the chance and just explain it's fine, and I'm sure it'll be fine. Does the hamster? Yeah, everyone knows the hamster were missing. I'm still in big trouble after 3 years that the hamster were missing because apparently I didn't shut the cage properly. I did shut the cage properly, but the hamster got out in a dodgy cage. Fit multiple are great fun. I kind of preferred the I-Pace. Really, it's interesting. I don't like the look of the I-Pace. I think it's really bland on the outside. Maybe it's a good car to drive, but I think it's just a boring-looking car. Most special car I've ever driven all my life was a 2001 XKR 4-litre in royal blue. Yeah, they are nice. Thing is, they cover the 2002 one. It gets 4.2 litre and supercharged, which is really nice. Italian cars, says Dimitri. Only Ferrari and Maserati with the rest of our way of design and living. Fiat, Lancia, only survive because Alfa becomes something between Peugeot and Citroën. Well, hopefully they won't. Hopefully they'll be their own brand with their own platforms rather than just rebranched Peugeot and Citroën. That'd be very sad if they are, because that would lose the soul. Andy, you can watch the 166 video. How long have I been on for? What's time? Crikey, ages. That is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, 7 hours for a side light on the 166. That's why I think he's actually part exchanging that car for another 166 with working side lights. What's my favourite Rovers? I think someone else just asked that. It's a P6 because I've got them. Alphas are lovely. Yeah, Mr. Coleman buys some good cars actually. He's had Rover 600s and all kinds of random stuff. He always chooses nice cars. Yeah, 166 was the last proper Alpha after they got sensible. I should frame that Volvo picture in the brochure. Yeah, that would look really good, wouldn't it? It's a shame it's got a gatefold in it. I wonder if I could find an original of that print. Oh, the Aylesford Priory show, yeah, that's a good one. I don't know if that, I don't know if that's on, but it's an outdoor show, so there's a better chance of an outdoor show going ahead than an indoor show. Where would I rank the 244 Volvo as among cars I've driven tested? Fairly highly. Yeah, it's a really good car, really solid. If I was going to buy a car that I wanted to last forever, that would certainly be on the list. It's not got the same pizzazz as things like the Alpha, but yeah, it's a really good fun car actually. If it was that or that Peugeot 504, 505, that big orange estate, that'd be a tough choice to make though. But so 3-litre V6, yeah, great engine. Yes, the forgotten Alpha 6 is the forgotten Alpha. Jaden, Alphas used to rot. Everything used to rot in the 70s, but unfair to point Alpha out in particularly, because nothing didn't rot in the 70s and even the 80s stuff. Like Cortinas, how many Cortinas are left thanks to rust? They started galvanizing in about the late 80s, same as a lot of other companies like Volvo started galvanizing in 1988. Everything rusted before the mid 80s. Oh, excuse me. Paul O'Connor, I really think it's the cost of electric vehicles that will slow people to move over to them. Technically, the Honda E is the perfect solution. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what it costs now. I imagine it's quite a lot. The other thing is that the range is an issue, and I regularly, pretty frequently do, sort of 200 plus miles in a day, and there's not many. Only the real high-end electric cars can do the mileage and are big enough to carry all the luggage I carry. So, I don't know. Alfetta and 75, yeah, both V6. Do I know if Aylesford Priory is on this year? I think I answered that a second ago. I don't know yet. Whatever happened to the hydrogen fuel cell car that was supposed to be the answer to battery-powered cars? It is still happening. The Toyota Mirai is now in its new version. The Mark II is out now. There's not much infrastructure yet for hydrogen, but yeah, John has just corrected the word I said wrong even before I said it. That's psychic. Yeah, but they are looking at hydrogen for commercial traffic, for HGVs, vans, that kind of stuff. Because the thing, if you go to an EV van or an EV truck, a lot of your payload goes on the battery, so you're reducing the amount of luggage or carrying capacity of the vehicle, which kind of negates the point of the vehicle in the first place. Whereas with hydrogen, you don't have to lose that capacity to batteries. But once there is hydrogen infrastructure for HGV traffic and coaches and vans and that kind of stuff, then potentially the opportunity for cars to come along and use that infrastructure as well is improved. So I'm not ruling hydrogen out yet. I mean, this is very much the VHS versus the Betamax at the moment. Hydrogen is the better solution, but it's currently more expensive and harder to use. But given the opportunity, hydrogen is a better solution. Oop. Oh, I jumped again. Oh, blimey. Where are we? Ah, man alive. Will, good evening. Jason's answered the Morose, bloody Morose. Of course it is. What's Inspector Morose's first name? Dumb question. If I send something to the PO box, does it require stamps? Yes, it does. Sadly, it's not free posting. It's just like a Dropbox where you can post physical items to. Sadly, not free posted. I just had the reminder through from the post office. It already costs 150 quid for 6 months to have that on its own. If I was free post as well, I think it would bankrupt me. Yeah, Tri-Bar getting restless. I need to go and talk about hamsters probably. I used on a rare Sierra Sapphire 2000E. Wow, I'd forgotten those. Even rarer than the Cossi Sapphire. The Sapphire E, that was like the mega high-end luxury Sierra Sapphire, wasn't it? That everything that was on a Cosworth apart from the engine, if I remember right. It's like just a regular 2-litre, but had all the, not all the body kit perhaps, but nice wheels, nice body kit. There's maybe a bit different at the spoiler, I think, but nice leather, all the trip computer. Yeah, 2008 was a great car. Oh, Springy. I guess hydrogen is an option. We're building a hydrogen power station next to our gas power station. Oh, that's interesting. You know, they're also looking at hydrogen power for ships as well, because again, it's ideal for larger solutions. Guys from the grid sounds like the Matrix. Yeah. Mike, slow in it. No, the SIs weren't slow. The SI rovers were pretty quick. Mercedes E-Class was named the Hammer. Oh, okay, yeah, that was the Hammer. So I missed where that conversation had come from. I thought you were talking about your two electric cars, the e-tron and the I-Pace. And I thought, which one of those is the Hammer? Tell us about the V70 you're thinking to buy. Oh God, yeah, I forgot I mentioned that on Facebook. It's just something that turned up on one of the Volvo Facebook pages, and it was a car for sale. It was a black, I'm sure it was a V70 D5 all-wheel drive with every option going on it, and the interior was just amazing. It was like it's basically the same color of the orangey caramel color as the Amazon I drove the other day. Oh, there's a car I'd like if I could pick any car from all the cars I've driven. That Amazon Estate, that was brilliant. But it was, yeah, that Amazon's tan color interior in modern leather. It was beautiful. It's quite expensive because it had been dealer serviced or serviced with dealer parts for everything its entire life, and it was loaded with every option. Unfortunately, I did the VED test. How much is this going to cost, the tax thing? And it was going to be like 570 a year, or the really high tax band for older cars. And that was it. That was that gone. So sorry. Well, my C-Class, I think, is under £200 a month sorry, not a month, a year to tax. If I do the C-Class on the monthly tax direct debit, it's like £15 a month or £12 a month. Yeah, so that was that, sadly. Yeah, child has insurrectioned into the room, but he's now been put to bed. Which feature am I happy to see gone? For me, it's those electric telescope radio antennas that are so 90s, but they get stuck and bent. Do you know, I love those aerials that go up on their own. You're right, they do break really easily. In fact, the Volvo does need a new one of those, and I want to get one just 'cause it's very 90s. There aren't many features I do miss, to be honest. All the stupid stuff that was pretty dangerous and broke a lot is the stuff I like. It's the stuff that's coming in now that I hate, like electric handbrakes, automatic everything. I'm missing more stuff than I'm hating. Ford will do away with the Focus next. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm worried they might. I hope we'll buy enough of them to keep them going, because that'd be awful if that went. I have to buy SUV since I need to tow 3.5 tons. What else can tow that weight legally but a pickup truck, which is even worse than passenger space? Because if you're towing something that size and weight, aren't you technically in a four-wheel drive rather than an SUV? Because there is a difference between a 4x4 and an SUV. 4x4, for example, is four-wheel drive. Most SUVs are only front-wheel drive, and many of them don't have any more weight to them than a standard saloon or a hatchback or estate car, because they're the same thing, just in a taller body. So yeah, I've got no problem with an actual four-wheel drive because it has a purpose. It's got the ability to tow stuff. It's got the ability to go off-road. SUVs generally don't. They're just rubbish at everything. They don't have any off-road capacity, and they're worse on-road than they are than a regular car. And they're just big, but tiny inside. How's the Volvo? Haven't done anything for the last few weeks. I need to service it, because it's due a service now, because I've had it a year. I had it a year just, well, a week or two ago. So I bought that Volvo 740 just maybe 2 weeks before lockdown happened, for an event we never did because of lockdown. And so it's had its first anniversary with me now. But yeah, that's going to need to service, and the undersealing the floor and a radio. It's been on sawn, not been taxed for the last month, but I've started every couple of days, and it fires up into life every time. But well done, Simon, of buying a 740. It's 1988 as well. Brilliant car. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. It's a different way of driving. It's very slow and comfy. Oh, hey, Stevie. My elderly neighbour will be selling her Rover 25 soon. What, 16,000 miles on the clock, always garaged. I'm so tempted. Should I do it? Yes, you should do it. That's not an option you're going to get very often. There are quite a lot of Rover 25s turning up on Facebook Marketplace and Gumtree and places like that, but not many of them are 16,000 miles and always garaged. Some of them might be advertised as always garaged, but you've got no way of knowing. But you know that car's history. You should definitely go that. God, comments still coming thick and fast. I might have to sign off in a bit because I'm getting tired talking here. Mark, oh, okay. Dominic, there's a Mark 1 Renault Megane pre-facelift for sale on Auto Trader right now. What do I reckon on that, the first car? Yeah, it'd be quite a decent first car, a bit different as well, so it might not be too badly stung with the insurance. I think they're quite easy and affordable to insure. Don't think it taxes me too much, and they're quite easy to drive as well. I don't know about buying parts for them in terms of body work and that kind of stuff, if you need to do any repairs to it. No, that's definitely be an interesting one, certainly unusual, because when was the last time we saw a Mark 1 Megane? Almost none left. I can't find any black leather seats from Mercedes W202. I say, yeah, keep on checking eBay or Google Mercedes breaker. Shea Devlin 406 Coupe needs to be reviewed. There was one I was going to do last year, but lockdown happened. I still got the owner's details, so I'll give him a call very shortly, actually. I had an Insignia 11 plate estate with paddler shift auto, terrible fuel consumption, awkward rear door headroom, and tiny load area. Yeah, I actually looked at Insignia estate a while ago because I did the 4x4 version. I thought it would be quite cool to have a 4x4 estate Insignia, but yeah, I found the boot was really, really tiny. Wouldn't fit my gear into it though. I wanted to carry for work. Any new coloured hats? Hang on. Yes, there are. In my office where sacks of hats live on the floor. We've got blue ones. It's actually up right in the dark blue. I've not actually got one. I didn't order enough to have one for myself to wear in videos, but we can have these ones as well as, well, I've still got the grey ones, which are kind of classic grey, you might call that one. That kind of goes with everything, or blends into this jumper though. And let's get blue as well. Blue as well. Yellow. We've got got yellow back in stock again. I do really like the yellow, and the yellow's been really popular. And I'm not alone in liking the yellow. And also, we do have the black ones as well, which are in a different bag I can't reach. So yes. What's my favourite Mondeo generation? I like either the early Mark 1s, which are like the simple classic design, or the Mark 3s. I have a lot of fondness for the Mark 3 shape. Where are we? Volvo 240 GLE or Mercedes W124. What's a tough one? I don't know. I toss a coin. Maybe go for the 124. Because a lot of people go kind of graduate. Is that the right word? They buy a Volvo, then move up to a 124. At least anyway. John, thank you very much indeed. I appreciate that comment. That's not sarcasm, that's me being grateful. Crossfire or SLK, which it's the same car underneath though, isn't it? I'll probably go for the SLK. I prefer the styling a little bit more. Any Citroen ZX Volcane 16 valve left? Yeah, it doesn't. Not too grand to have one of those. He's just got recently. He's doing up. I've lost my place in the comment. Bloody, how many comments are there? Crikey, I'm way behind. I was going to sign off. I've got another 50 comments to get through. I'm going to speed read and skim through a few. I apologise if I miss your comment out from reading out. What car makes you feel the most nostalgic? Carman Gear, actually. My mum had a Carman Gear, which we used to go on holiday in. Dad had company cars, Mum had silly cars. It's sad that not the non-premium brands are not making sedans and liftbacks. Yeah, it's really sad. 406 would be ultimate if it had a better interior than a normal 406. Well, there was a very nice 406 interior, which we'll probably see on the video before too long, actually. Good evening, Will, said hello. Believe the London Classic Car Show is going outdoors this year. Oh, okay, interesting. That's Henry. Cats? No, we don't have any cats here. I'm massively allergic to cats, so we're not having a cat in the house. Do you have any opinion about e-fuels, synthetic fuels? They're a bit of a worry because they could damage a lot of older cars, like say pre-2000 cars, so they're not even that old, fuel systems. But apparently there are some ethanol stabilizer things you can buy. I need to go and buy a bottle and test it and see what it does. Was I the lead singer in Weezer? I don't think I was. Where was I 1996 through 97? Oh, I was. Yes, I was. Yeah, you're quite right, I was. I want a Citroen ZX 1.9 TD. Wouldn't like stink with lots of black smoke, yeah. VHS v Betamax is probably not a great comparison, as we probably need both hydrogen and battery electric. Yeah, actually, you're technically correct, because electric, if you talk to the scientists and engineers who are working on these systems, they do say that the electric cars, the battery electric, I should say, BEVs, are ideal for in-town, short journey, drop-off delivery vehicles, like milk floats, effectively. But anything for longer journeys is going to be better for hydrogen. Yeah, as you say, yeah, petrol and diesel equivalent. Mark 1 Renault Twingo, yay or no? Yay! Yeah, great little cool cars. Love the videos, especially the Alpha. Yeah, the Alpha is cool. P635S was a real wolf in sheep's clothing. I had a 73 model. Yeah, they were great cars. You should hang on to it. But it would have rusted by now. What do I think of the next solid-state batteries? I don't know a lot about them. It's the kind of thing that it's emerging technology, and if they can bypass the lithium issue, because there's not much lithium, then they would solve an awful lot of issues for us. And they can do fast charging, like properly rapid charging. Okay, as far as reading the term free post on Google confuses as it doesn't match our version of a PO box. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. If I was a Citroen executive, how would I design things, wacky, mad styling, or more mainstream, and hope to compete. Obviously, the sensible part of being a company car or car company executive, you would have to do something a little bit mainstream, a little bit sensible, and have stuff that people could relate to a bit. But if I was trying to make Citroen stand out, yeah, I'd want some more wackiness in there. Every car needs a USP, and if you haven't got anything that stands out from the crowd, then why bother with Citroen when you can buy a BMW for less on PCP? So yeah, I'd definitely try and drive them wacky but usable. Oh, this is interesting. I visited Audi factory in Germany in 2018, and one of the head researchers said that fuel cell cars will definitely be big after instant battery electric hype dies down. That is interesting. Yeah, I kind of agree, because I think that a lot of the manufacturers are working very hard behind the scenes on fuel cell technology, because it's a longer burn. You can't instantly have infrastructure, because anyone can plug a car into a socket, even if it means an extension lead across a pavement that's going to trip up old ladies. You can still do it. But yeah, hydrogen is going to take a while, but once it's there, it's a better solution. Giuseppe, did I say earlier, drop me an email, the link in the email address below. Sierra XR 4x4, Jason, you know I love them. I remember going to a toy fair with you in about 1987, and I bought a toy XR 4x4. Your dad's friend said, why did I buy that when there's always pictured toy Ferraris, and I bought a Sierra? I need help with a 206. There are so many sarcastic comments I can make right now. I'm not going to. Have I ever owned a Land Rover or any other Land Rover product? I've had a Mark 1 Freelander, which I really enjoyed driving. It's a nice car, but the gearbox broke and the head gasket went. I have also had a Range Rover Classic, a 1993 Vogue SE, which again I really, really liked, but the windows fell into the doors and the head gasket went. Wow, as a youngster, my primary school headmistress had a Sierra Sapphire 2000E. Wonderful light blue colour. And weren't they in two-tone as well, the Sapphire 2000E? So it's like light grey over dark blue, or vice versa. Terry Atkinson, yes, you are a bit late. I'm going to be signing off in a minute. Mate, it's been one of the longest ones I've done so far. Whoa. Lucky you live here tax-wise. My 07 GT costs €710 a year to tax. Ouch. Crikey, are you running on unicorns or something? Even the 3-door and convertible Mini getting electric handbrake is an option now. I know. The worst, isn't it? So a 91 Granada parked next to a 2016 Jetta. Ford looked like a dinky toy compared. Yeah, it's incredible how cars have grown. Germany's largest refinery, consuming 180,000 tons of hydrogen a year. The newest electrolyzer provides a modest amount of hydrogen, 1,300 tons a year. If trial is a success, it could be expanded. Yeah, actually, what a lot of some of the people are behind hydrogen infrastructure plans are suggesting is that have small localized hydrogen electrolyzer plants near where the filling stations are. So you cut out the infrastructure of transporting hydrogen from production to point of delivery to the vehicles that are going to use it by just producing it almost on site. Stelvio, Tonale, don't like either of them. They're SUVs. Shame. Yeah, Paulie, you can't walk around mini scrappos anymore. No, they don't like it, do they? Yeah, hate electric handbrakes. Yeah, your battery goes down, you can't move the car. Mark 1 more Mondeo too closely associated with Tony Blair. Was it him who actually coined the Mondeo man phrase? Or his spin doctors anyway. Used car market will be flooded with petrol, diesel, hybrid SUVs in years to come. Yeah, when the bubble bursts, no one's going to want them. Oops. Car still rock from the 90s. Yeah, tell me about it. My 145. Every time I say my mum had a Karma gear, I always feel badly done when you think, your mother had a Daihatsu Grand Move. I'll make you feel even worse in a second. My mum also had a Manta. I used to go to school in an Opel Manta, a bright yellow Opel Manta. because the Common Gear was when we were kind of preschool, primary school age, and the Manta was when we were kind of late primary, secondary school age. That was a cool car. Yeah, Hubnut would love a grand move. That is very true. Guy Volunteer, I have an XR4i as well. XR4i, brilliant. Do I watch petrol blogs? Sometimes, not often. I don't get as much chance to watch YouTube as I'd like. Crown Vic, 74 Monaco or Cord 810? Oh, come on, don't make me choose. It's so stupid to have an electronic handbrake on a car with a manual gearbox. Yes, yes. John R, have I missed anything? No, I waited until you came back. Can't have fun in the snow with an electric handbrake. You're too right. Lee, signing off. Yeah, if you've got the email, I'll look for it later on. I'll probably reply to it tomorrow rather than tonight. My dad still owns his XR 4x4. That is a great car to have. We must stop the Ford discontinuing the Mondeo. If they do stop it, the company itself must die. Yeah, I guess anyway we can do that. We all rush out and buy a Mondeo tomorrow. Maybe they'll keep on going on. Where are we going to put them all? I miss mechanical handbrakes, smell of unburnt fuel, creaks and rattles, hubcaps. Yeah. Actual keys, yeah. I've been driving a car this week which has keyless power. And yeah, every time I get in the car, I don't know what to do with the key. Stick it in the door pocket, then get out and walk off and forget it. Dear me. How close is the P6 to running? Dangerously close. Jaguar are bringing back and building, selling Series 1 E-Types. Is there any other classic cars you would bring back? And if so, would it be petrol, diesel, or electric? Oh, good question. I'd love to bring back some 60s Alphas, obviously. But yeah, it'd be a shame not to have the petrol engine because they do sound so good, those cars. But yeah, maybe it'd be interesting to do an electric one just to see the difference. Evening, Alex. Gosh, you're late to the party here, but I'm glad you made it. But I'm actually going to sign off in a second because I've been talking for 1 hour 40 and I've drunk my tea ages ago and getting dry in the throat. Oh, bring back the Alpha Sud 1.5 QV. Oh, yeah, that'd be good. Saxo or Fiesta? Depends on the generation, but the Saxo was brilliant. Opinion of the X-Type? It's very, very good indeed. It's Mondeo, which is a good thing, but four-wheel drive and a nicer interior. Quick lad, stockpile them. Stockpile Mondeos now for the future. Right, Tom, don't worry, you can rewind it and watch from the beginning. Yes, arrived a bit late. Sorry, X-Rays and Tom. I've been going for 1 hour 42 and a bit minutes, which is a long time for one of these to go on for. Model 4 Fiesta or Saxo? Okay, I'm going to go Saxo in that case then. Alex, I just recently took delivery of a W140 S-Class. Oh, yeah. I have to look on Facebook later and have a look at that. Manual handbrakes, turns on McDonald's trays in the car parks. Yeah, brilliant. Cobble motors at a 6-hour life jack. Jesus, did you take a toilet break in the middle? Ah, dear me. Bought an R53 Mini Cooper this weekend. Yes, definitely do a video on that. They're great fun. Ah, dearie me. Right. I'm going to say good night. I need to get a fresh cup of tea for this. S500. Oh, sorry. Alex, S500 with the M119 5-litre V8. Oh, yes, that sounds awesome. That's a lovely car. That's a big old Mercedes lump of loveliness. Good night, everybody. Have a lovely evening and great weekend. Hopefully I'll get a Rover V8 video out for you at some point over this weekend. I mean, maybe it'll start. I can't promise anything because guaranteed something will go wrong and it won't happen. But yes, thank you everyone who dumped in a super chat. That's very much appreciated. And thank you everyone who joined. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, then please do subscribe. We're trying to hit more numbers on that really. And yeah, see you all. Take care. Be good to everybody.